Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the third date in Ukraine, which took place in a very different kind of setting, far from the city noise, in a peaceful open-air museum village called Pirohiv. Let's dive in. So first of all, this date had a different vibe compared to the previous ones. Not better, not worse, just different. To set the scene, Pirohiv is like a time capsule, a village built to reflect life in the 1700s in Ukraine, with wooden houses, windmills, open fields. You walk around and feel like time has stopped. It's quiet, full of soul, and it really forces you to slow down. And maybe that's exactly what I needed. Because honestly, I was tired. The heat in Kyiv that day was close to 30 degrees. I didn't sleep well at the night before, and as someone who is more of a winter person, let's just say sweating my way through a historical village wasn't ideal. But I was still hopeful that the atmosphere would give us a chance to connect more deeply. We met in the afternoon near Holosivska metro station. She came straight from the monastery and I came from my rental apartment. We hugged, chatted a bit and went for a light meal first, which was a good way to reset and recharge. Then came the first funny twist of the day, the taxi ride to the museum. Now the driver took us through some route that felt like we were in the middle of a wheat field safari. It was the shortest way, sir, but also the bumpiest. It made us laugh, though, and that little chaotic ride added a touch of adventure before the calm of village. Once we arrived, the vibe was instantly different. We walked among the old houses, she told about their history, and our conversation flowed in a mix of Ukrainian, Russian, English, and now even a bit of Finnish. Yes, she picked up a word I used earlier while recording something into Google Translate. I found that very sweet. The conversation was mostly light, but we did start to touch on more personal topics. I talked a bit about my background and shared some things too. Slowly we were starting to peel back the layers. Of course, there were also the big topics. We talked briefly about some of the concerns. My concern about the age gap and hers about religious differences and yes, Lapland winters. Fair points. We didn't go too deep yet, but we acknowledged that those things matter. And that's already a good sign. One thing I'm really noticing is how calm and graceful she is. There's a softness in her personality and also a sense of humor that comes through in little moments. Her energy has remained consistent across all 3 dates. And while I'm still not sure where this is heading, it feels like we were both cautiously interested. We are not rushing things. That's not the culture here, and honestly, I like that. Ukrainian women tend to walk more slowly, and that suits me just fine. I prefer to build something real, not fast. Now, let me reflect a bit. This third date reminded me of something important. When you're dating someone from a different culture and country, try to eliminate extra uncertainties wherever possible. There will already be challenges, language, culture, logistics, so if you can make the practical side of the date smooth, it really helps. Also, I'm learning to live with the what ifs. What if she's not the right one? What if this ends up being just a nice memory? Honestly, I've made peace with that. Because even if it doesn't work out, I had great time. I learned more about Ukrainian women and most of all, I restored my hope that deep feminine and traditional energy still exists in dating. Now for the honest part. There are red flags I've noticed, mainly her family background with broken relationships in her past. But I'm not rushing to judgment. If she has done her inner work, those experiences can turn into strength. Only time will tell. A green flag is that despite the heat, the tiredness, the odd taxi route, we both still wanted to be there. That says something. We even agreed on the next meeting time. I'll be the one planning it. The first and third dates were mine. The second and this museum idea were hers. So far the balance feels good. So how do I feel? Hopeful, not blindfold hopeful, but grounded and optimistic. If this takes a long time to build, so be it. Rushing into marriage would be a mistake. But if we do it right, maybe, just maybe, it could turn into something real. And if not, then I'll move forward with a smile. One experience richer, more hopeful, and with even stronger faith that the right person is out there. Because one thing is sure, my glass is always half full, not half empty. Stay tuned, because in the next video I'll share what happened on our fourth date. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to follow this journey with me.